So I'm going to create a new composition, 1920, 1080. That'll be 24 frames. Let's say this is 7 seconds. Hit OK. Now go layer, new. Oops, I got to be on my timeline. Layer, new, solid. We'll call this particles. Now I'm going to create the custom particle. So I click on my new composition, or I could go composition, new composition. Now remember, you want to be either 200 by 200 or a maximum of 400 by 400. I'm going to do 200 by 200. Hit OK. And I'm keeping it the length of my timeline. All right, so let's do a quick robot. So I'll click here to turn off my transparency. Let's make the stroke a little bigger. And then I'll hit Shift A. Let's say it's got a rounded body. I'll put that below the torso. Normally I'd name these layers, but you know. And then the head. Shift A. The torso for the head. Well, not rounded, you know what I mean. You know what? Let's do another one of these shapes. It's funny. I'm trying to do like all the fast transforms that you can do in Blender. And I'm like, oh, wait, I'm not there. So I'll scale that in a little bit. Oh, I'm still doing it. Like, it's just so much faster to work in Blender with this type of stuff. All right. So we'll say that's the head. And I'll move everything down a little bit. And then I'll give it an antenna. No fill. And then we'll give it a glowing ball on top with no stroke. And having this layered will really help. The arms, I'm going to have them sway. So let's think. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the classic no fill. I'll do a stroke. Okay, make them thicker. And so I'll call this arm. What's this shape? That's the flash. Is this shape empty? It is. Okay. Don't need that. Okay. So the arm. We'll twirl down to our stroke. Give it a round cap, round join. Already it's more cartoony. Give it some dashes. So it's a little bit segmented looking. Okay, found that. Do right about there. Okay. And we will watch our rig, holding down command to snap it. Okay, good. We'll put that there. We'll put that there. Put that there. Then we'll put there. Right there. Okay, good. So I'm going to duplicate my arm. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go. Yeah, I'll duplicate the arm first. All right. Put on the other side. Right click, flip it. There. Okay. So let's see. Arm, I'm going to the flash. I'm going to parent to the antenna. The antenna, I'm going to parent to the head. The head, I'm going to parent to the torso. The legs are going to parent to the torso. And let's see. So the arms, I'll parent to the torso. You see something. Okay. Actually, I'm going to parent the torso to the legs, not the other way around. And I'll show you why. So if I want to like give this a little bit of life, I can do that. So if I'm doing that, I'm going to put this on the bottom. Yeah. So now, yeah, exactly. Now we've got some squash and stretch. See? All right. Happy with that. Do. All right. So the legs, I'm going to hold down Alt or Option. And let's see. Is there a way of isolating just the top, just that one number? I don't think there is. So I'll just use keyframes for that, but I'll loop it. You know what I mean? So I'll go forward a little bit, but shrink down a tiny bit, not too much. You want it to be too extreme. And I've got my original here, so I can hit copy, paste. It's easy ease those. Right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease. Okay. So that's the first motion. I'm kind of happy with that. It's pretty robotic looking. So I can just copy these, move my playhead, paste, move my playhead again, paste, and paste one more time. So it's a little sporadic like that, not too distracting. Kind of has a randomness to it. All right. So the arms, I could have them bend with bender or rotate. I think bend will look better because they've got that hose look to it. So I'm going to put that there and we'll say base, which does not bend. That's where it meets the body. And the top, which does bend, which would be there. Let's test it out. See that? Bends the way to go. I'll add an expression. Hold down Alt or Option. We'll do a wiggle, WIGG. Double click to accept. Let's say ones per second, comma, let's try 15. Click out of it. Not too much. So, that's up to you. So I'll copy that now that we've got that. Wait a sec. Wait. Copy. There we go. Okay, good. Here we'll do the same thing. Bend. Go bend on it. Base where it meets the body, which does not move. Top, the part that does sway. Hold down Alt or Option. Paste the other expression. I accidentally hit the wrong thing. So it's like what? 1, comma 12. 115. Okay. Okay, good. We got some life. And then the flash at the top. I'm going to jump into 32-bit by holding down Alt or Option. So I've got, yeah, no problem. One sec. So I'll throw glow onto there. Let's see the radius. There we go. Now it's glowing. Okay. So I'll change the threshold, I guess. I'll hold on Alt or Option. Add a wiggle. Let's try twice a second, 200. See? So now we got some flash happening. Okay. Now, if we say that's too far of a radius, fine. We could change the intensity. Bring it down a little if you want. Okay. So that's our basic particle. The whole thing's got some life. All right. So I'll hit save. That's good. Now I'll go back here. So here's my scene. Here's my particle system. We'll go use CC particle world. Particle world there. Hit the space bar. There's our particles. All right. So let's try under physics for our particle engine. Let's try fire. Okay. And then let's move it. So that's the producer position. Move it around. Let's have them start down there. Okay. The radius. Spread it out in Z. Now we will start dialing in the physics. That's resistance. So we'll crank up the resistance. The gravity, we'll do 0 so it stays on the ground. Got it? All right. Now, our particle, we're going to use textured square. So it has hard edges. Now, remember, if we do disk, it'll be rotating upside down and sideways. Square will keep them all uniform, which is what you want for this. You want square. And then we choose our texture, which is the robot. So I have to put the robot into the scene. I'll call this robot. Hide it. Go back to my particles. Go back to my effects. Here's the texture. We choose robot. Effects and mask. Now they're down there. They're small. So let's try one for the size, one for the depth. And then we'll do max opacity 100. Opacity map. You don't want them fading off or on. Robots don't do that. Now, your color over life. Look at that. You've already got different color robots. Got it? So you could do tone if you wanted. Oh, check it out. They're moving about too. So if you don't want them moving around, you could do stuff like velocity. Let's try 0. Still a little bit of shuffling about. That's if you want them to be moving. Um, Angle, I'm going to set that to 0. Yeah. Longevity, I'm going to make them last a lot longer. That's important. Let's spread them out a little bit. See, now you got a crowd going. See what I mean? So what you could do is you could slide down to where they're already born. Just slide them down, make it a little longer. And you know what? Let's live longer. Another thing we could do is size variation. Uh, I'd make them all the same size because they're robots. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a bit better. And then I'd probably slide this down even more to where they're all born. You know what I mean? And texture. Here we go. Let's try from start. Scrub through. And let's try from birth. Let's slow that down a bit more. Let's see. Particle release under extras. I'll randomize a little bit. So I'll go here, full particles, 100%, go forward a little bit. Let's slide these down even more to the part where they're like all born. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, let's try something different. I'm going to make the composition longer. I'm going to say 40 seconds here. And for the robot, see if we can keep that at 7 seconds. Okay, now they're staying still. Let's see. There might even be too many of them. I'm thinking while I'm watching this, I don't really see much life to them, which is the weird thing. Because we put all that motion in. Was the motion too subtle? You know what I mean? Let's try something different. Let's delete that particle layer. Let's turn on a robot. See, he's working here. Got it? So what I'm going to try instead of that, that's one way. CC repetile. Put that on top of it here. And then we could random. No, we don't want that. Let's try a brick. I think there's a brick way. Don't want that. Brick. There we go. Now they're spread out like bricks. The drop down under tiling. And I could move these a little bit. Yeah, CC reptile, yeah. So we could alter. Let's see. There we go. So now you've got all the motion. So if I were to turn that off, see they're all moving. So CC reptile looks like it's working pretty good. Okay, yeah. Well, what you could also do is let's say you did less of this. 1 second. So let's do less up and down. You could do 1 second. Let's do. All right. So we got one row. Okay. I'll do Command D to duplicate it. slide it down in my timeline, and then position it differently. So what this is going to do is on this one. Let's see. Okay, now we got another robot. See how they're moving differently? I just offset it in my timeline and then changed my repeat. So that's the way to get the randomized motion uh, that way while repeating them. Okay. And you just space them out however you want. And once you've got that, you could then select both of these, duplicate it.
I think I'll be able to 3D enable it too, so you could
Let's find out. So I'm going to select all these, move them down. It's 3D enabled, all those layers. You. So that's that. And then we'll add a camera, layer new camera. Hit OK. So if you want the camera to move through them, they need to be in 3D space, like spread out. So that's you. You'll be there. So let's move these in negative space. And then C for my camera, I'll zoom out a little bit. And then we'll orbit down a little bit. That. You just gotta watch out for your repetile, like right there. So is that left? Yeah, that was the left. Okay, cool. And there's one there too. So that's what here. There we go. All right. So you could use I would suggest a null because that's fast and easy. Going layer new null, make your null 3D, and then the camera, just parent the camera to the null. So when you rotate the null, the camera moves with it, like pans with it, like such, or position. You can quickly and easily go through them. So if we did here, then a pan in, like that. So let's take a look at this. Let's pretend your bad guy is on stage here on a podium. We'll pretend that's the podium, and this will be the stage. Okay. I'm going to 3D enable that. Oops, one sec. Come on. So this is here. P for position. Let me move that further away. Up. So see, now the whole scene's moving together. So if you layer it out like parallax, it'll all make sense. Okay. That help?
Yeah.
I'll give you this. I'll give you this for reference too. One sec. Let's pretend this is your wheel, okay? So let me see what this looks like if I. Okay, you can see it rotating. So I'm going to duplicate it, slide it down. All right, let's just see what we got here. Okay, let's pretend that's your car moving. All right, it's the car. So on the body, I put a little wiggle on the rotation, 1, 2, and I put the anchor point at the bottom middle. So you see how it gives it a little bit of, now picture if, let me hide these wheels. Actually, let me show those wheels. All right, so let me do circle, a little bigger than that circle. And I'm inside my body here, the car. Yours is already going to be done, but I'm just talking my way through here. Let me move that. Let me go up. And I'm going to duplicate that. So if I've got my ellipse, if I hit Command D to duplicate, and then the second one, I position, oops, daisy. Here's my other ellipse. Like, why isn't it? That's what I wanted right there. So the size of it a little. Okay. So what should happen with my shape, the contents, if I add merge paths and I choose subtract, nope, let's try intersect, nope, let's try exclude intersections. There we go. And let's see. Now what I'm going to do is I don't want this bottom part. So I'm just going to add a rectangle, but use as a mask. This is like the super fast, lazy way. And I'm going to set that mask to subtract. So now you see that a whole lot more with that negative space by the wheel wells. So that's a way to add some life to the car. Also, if you had headlights and you parent that to the car body, I know I spelled it wrong, but that's what the cool kids do these days. So if I go like, let's pretend that's my headlight. Parent that. Yeah. And then, wait, we're not done yet. So now you see the headlight following the body. And additionally, we can go. I'll put this below it and I'll call this light. So that's below the headlight. I'm going to parent that to the headlight. The headlight is parented to the body. The light color, we'll give it a stroke of none. And then the fill, we could do. Let's try a linear gradient. Why not? See, because there's going to be that fall off of light. And let's say the color, we made it like yellow just for the fun of it. See? And then you could throw like a soften on there, a blur, some transparency. A blending mode would be the best. Blending mode to show the road. So I'm just showing you how like just that little bit of bobble and stuff like that, that really is what's going to help sell it. All right. So I'm going to try and recreate the issue. I'm going to be in the HD TV 1080p. So it's going to look the way. So when I bring it into After Effects, everything's going to line up. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you have a question. All right. So here is our path, right? And I'm going to hit enter to finish drawing. And I already see what I'm looking for. So I'm going to do a fill of none. And I'll make this a little bit thicker. And just a reminder, view high transparency grid if that's getting on your nerves. Okay. I don't like the way that looks. So this is to convert your Bezier path. These are the align. So here's my properties. Yeah, they keep changing it. So I'm going to go to stroke. Okay. And I hit the hamburger. Here it is. Show options. Now we've got different caps and then the joins right there. So no, I went window, stroke. Then from stroke, I went to the hamburger menu, show options. That opened up everything. And if you're listening to this Adobe, you're a garbage program and stop doing this. Signed, everybody. That'll show them. That's no problem. I'm a bad boy for life. Yep.
So like,
That's fascinating. Tell me more.
like when I look at
Uh-huh.
I look at the
Sure.
thumbnail for the
Mhm.
top one, top